about motivating your team and why it's important to motivate your team that you're working with. And if you have ever looked at pictures or seen video clips or even talked to a friend or a relative that has climbed Mount Everest, one of the main things that they all realize, everybody in the entire climbing party realizes, is that in order for us to reach that summit, we have to reach it together. So how do we motivate our team? How do we keep everybody engaged? How do we make sure that everybody's moving up that mountain together and that no one's left behind? Those are some of the areas that we constantly have to also work with in sports. Unless you're in just an individual sport in track and field, or even in golf sometimes, or tennis, or maybe even some other areas. I won't get into all those details, but if you think about the team concept for just a moment, at some point you're always going to be a part of a team in athletics. Just like our company, we have a team. Well, how do we motivate everyone to reach the summit together? That's what we have to figure out. That's the magic. And that magic can be transcended throughout each team member to have everyone pull their own weight, have everyone work together in order to achieve the same goal. All right, so how do we reach the summit together? Let's go through a couple of things here. You know, I remember some coaches as I was growing up where they would motivate us in different ways. They would motivate us by running us, making us run more if we screwed up in practice. They would motivate us by yelling at us sometimes. They would motivate us by even giving us some incentive, even some, you won't have to run as much if you accomplish this. But how do we win that game together? What it always comes down to is that we all have to have that common goal that we're trying to reach, that common apex, just like climbing the mountain, that we all buy into. If you have a team member that's not buying into the concept, it's time to sit down with them and talk to them about what do they really want to accomplish? Why are they here? What is it they want out of life? How can they get into the game with you? That's what we all have to start thinking about, and how we win this game together. So part of my growing up experience and later on in life in business is that I started looking at traits of leaders. And I've come up with 30 different traits. We're not going to cover all the traits today, but these 30 different traits are actually written down in my book, The Entrepreneur's Game Plan. And now we start to talk about leadership and entrepreneurship. But I don't want to focus on all 30 traits today. I just want to cover a few, because I think they're important for us to understand and to know. And there's actually another segment, several segments actually, just about leadership, but I'm just going to give you a little bit of a snippet of it here today. I think that, first of all, leaders lead by example without managing others. What does that mean? Well, we've all been involved with someone who likes to control everything, who likes to say, I've got all the answers, just do as I tell you to do. Well, that's managing. I don't want a manager. I want a leader. I want someone who will just go out and do it with me and roll up their sleeves and say, this is how you do this. Not make me do it, but work with me to do that, to accomplish whatever that particular circumstance is or that goal is that we're all trying to reach. So leaders lead by example without having to manage other people. I think that's an important trait of a leader. The second one is that leaders have the courage to step out first and to lead. They're the first ones to say, okay, I may not know all the answers right now, but I'm going to lead by example. I'm going to step out first, and I hope the rest of you will follow, because I've given you enough confidence in me and my abilities that I can lead. But I'm going to be courageous enough to take that leap of faith, and I'm going to step out first, and I'm going to lead the team to the success that we're all trying to accomplish. I like that. I like the fact that leaders who do have that courage can come out, can push everything else aside in their mind, and can motivate the team to follow them. I think another good trait of the leaders that I've known throughout the years is that leaders motivate and inspire others to do things that they may not want to try on their own. Leaders motivate and inspire others through their own actions, through their own wisdom that they share. I remember a placard that I saw a long time ago, and it said that the boss inspires fear, but the leader inspires motivation. Think about that for a minute. The boss inspires fear, and the leader inspires motivation. I, for one, want to be motivated by other people. Sometimes we all get down in the dumps. Sometimes life gets too overwhelming. Sometimes we need somebody to lead us in a way that is motivating and inspiring. Even the words that we use can be motivating and inspiring. So figure out how your communication is with your team members, with those that you're leading, and put yourself in their shoes. Maybe even tape yourself. Are you saying and doing the things that are motivational, that are inspirational? Do you inspire others with the words that you say? Maybe self-reflection might not be a bad idea to take some time to figure out if you're actually an inspiring leader. I think that's the third one. So the fourth one then, as we lead into these traits of leaders, good leaders, is that leaders possess a winning attitude. You know, as a father, when the funds may be low and the debts may be high, you don't always want your kids to know that. You don't want them to be fearful that they don't know where their next meal is coming from, or if you're going to get kicked out of your house, or a myriad of other things. I think even as parents and as business leaders and as friends, we owe it to those that are looking to us to have a winning, positive attitude. A wonderful coach of mine in college, Lavelle Edwards, made a wonderful comment as I was a freshman. I was thinking I was pretty cool that I had this scholarship, and I was a really good athlete, and I was on the team, and then he made a very interesting statement one day, and he said, you know, you freshmen, as you're coming in here, those of you have scholarships, some of you don't. Those that you do have scholarships, I'd watch out for those that don't, because they want your job and they want your scholarship. So be grateful for what you have with that scholarship, and remember one thing, that attitude will take you farther in life than skill and talent ever will. When he said that, I thought, wow, I had never thought of it that way. I better have a good attitude, especially if I want to impress the coach. But let me say that again. Attitude will take you farther in life than skill and talent ever will. I truly believe that. That was a long time ago when I heard that from my coach, and I've never forgotten it, and I've been grateful that he said it, because I try to live my life that way too. I mean, life is not easy, but we have to maintain a positive, winning attitude, especially as we're running businesses and especially as we're leading others. So leaders possess a winning attitude. That's number 4. Number 5 kind of is a carryover from number 4, but leaders remain positive even when the storms are bearing down. You know, if you think about following somebody, it's where they want to be inspired and motivated, like we've already discussed. So they want to be led and motivated and inspired, as we've discussed earlier, but they also want to follow a person who's positive. Someone who's got a smile on their face, someone who's excited about life, someone who's going to lead the team going forward in a positive fashion, because that's the type of leader that we like to follow. It's the type of leader I like to follow. I hope you're the same. People with positive attitudes are like a magnet. People are drawn to them because they feel good about them, and they know that they care about me. They care about what I'm trying to do, because that's a positive person, and I can always follow a positive person. So remember that. Number 5, leaders remain positive even when the storms may be bearing down. And then number 6 here is that leaders have a vision that they've developed, but they share that vision with the rest of the team. How often have we been in meetings where we had no idea if the leader who was leading the discussion or that particular individual who was supposed to be leading all of us to the next level of success had no idea or no clue of what they were trying to do? And that's also an important element, is for us to feel connected to a leader that has a vision, that shares that vision with us. Back when I played on a national championship football team in 1984, one of our good friends and teammates, Craig Garrick, came up to everybody after we won our first game. It was on national television, and we weren't expected to win that game. But Craig made just a comment very loudly and very clearly to the rest of us that told us that, okay, he's our captain and he's one of our leaders that can help us get to this level that he has a vision of. And here was his vision. He said, you know what, guys, we're really good. And we had a lot of things working together today. And I think we're good enough, if we stay together as a family, that we can win a national championship this year. And he said it 3 times. And after the 3rd time, we were in a frenzy. And we in this locker room after this game said, you know what, we can win this game. Or excuse me, this national championship that you're telling us about. And we bought into his vision. We bought into his sharing that vision with us. Lo and behold, we did. We won a national championship. I'm forever grateful for that great example of Craig Garrick, great teammate, good friend, and a very inspirational leader that we had. So leadership and entrepreneurship, traits of a leader, again, number 6 is leaders have a vision and they share that with the rest of the team. Okay, so that'll wrap up this particular segment. I appreciate you listening to this segment as well. We have many more to cover, and so I'll see you on the other side. And again, thank you for listening to all these fun stories and some of these things that I can share with you. I appreciate it. See you on the other side.